Hey guys, it's Zach. Now I want to thank everybody who's on the line today, as well as the team that's here present. We are in the Des Moines office for the 3rd District of Congress. It's just been a real privilege to get to serve Iowa for the last 5 weeks in the U.S. House of Representatives. One of the things I think we took away from being in Iowa is the opportunity to serve. And like a military member, I think service before self is something a lot of Iowans feel very impassioned by. You know, when we first came into this position, we were humbled to get to serve Iowans of all stripes. Whether they were Republican, Independent, or Democrat, we felt like we had an obligation to serve the community that helped put us here. And that's why we've been out in all 21 counties. In fact, we've just been on the road in southeast Iowa, southern Iowa, and western Iowa yesterday, and made it back in time for the good snowstorm today in the central part of the region. So as our young men and women are playing wrestling right now up the road, we're working hard to make Washington work a lot more like Iowa. And that means including our elected officials being transparent in their fiscal transactions. So I'm happy to announce today a bipartisan initiative to move forward with an advancement on the Stock Act. Now, let's be very clear here. The Stock Act makes sure that insider information that members of Congress are privy to based on their positions are held to the highest possible ethical standard and fiscally responsible standard. In short, it means you can't trade on insider information based on your given position. This is something that started under the Obama administration in 2010, and we have worked diligently for, both at the Iowa State House and as we work forward to make sure that those individuals who are privy to sensitive information can't enfranchise themselves personally. This month, we were privileged to get assigned to the Financial Services Committee. This committee is charged with ensuring that our small banks, our small credit unions, our lenders have the credit they need. But it also makes sure that big financial institutions are regulated and managed in a way that best protects the American people. Far too often, we have seen members of Congress who have used that information to potentially enfranchise themselves in violation of the Stock Act. Look, the reality is 78 members in the last Congress were called up for Stock Act violations. That's 78 members, far too many. We need to make that number 0. We need to hold what works in Iowa accountable at the federal level. And that's why I'm very privileged to be working on a bill that can move us forward in a way that is both bipartisan, transparent, and accountable. So the Prohibitor Insider Trading Act of 2023 is a bill that I'm sponsoring with Representative Greg Stanton. Now, he's a Democrat out of Arizona, but we both feel very aligned that this is the best way for transparency for our elected officials. The legislation not only builds upon what happened in 2012, but what we've seen consistently is that 75% of Americans want our elected officials in Washington to be transparent on this fact, that they are not making millions of dollars in their job in Washington while everyday Iowans are feeling the pinch, and not trading or making decisions based on what will enfranchise them personally, but holding themselves to that same selfless standard we have in the military. In the last session alone, the 117th Congress, 20% of our elected officials got caught up in the situation of using insider information to their personal advantage. And I heard loud and clear from Iowans, no more. Let's end this. So who better to help lead than people from the heartland, people from this community in Iowa, people from Arizona, people from across the country who are elected, holding ourselves accountable. Here's specifically what we'll do. It means that if you're serving in Congress, you and your spouse are no longer trading stocks. You're no longer having access to information that could potentially compromise your investments. And importantly, it makes sure that we, the elected officials, are accountable to you, the electorate, the people who put us here. Further, it gives us the opportunity to be very clear when we march forward that we're going to be holding those large financial institutions, those Wall Street executives, those tech companies, the large institutions that potentially could shape the future of our country, accountable without our own interest in the back of our mind. We put your interest first, we put Iowa's interest first, and we move forward in a way that best helps the business community be successful without our personal time. Look, I'm very proud to be doing this. It's a very important first step, and this is a way that we can hold not only ourselves accountable, but the country accountable. Iowa, I am humbled to serve you. I'm privileged to be working on a bipartisan piece of legislation that truly can provide transparency for every American. And most importantly, you can rest assured that those of us doing the hard work in Washington to serve you are in the exact same boat that you are. that we're trying to make a better world, not only for ourselves and our children, but for all of us to have a fair, transparent, and level playing field when it comes to fiscal accountability. And that starts with us leading the way. I'm very honored to do it. With that, I am privileged to take any questions on topic as we start moving out on this. Thank you.